Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to be talking about 5 annoyances of the MyListing theme. These are annoyances of my own and some that are voiced from clients. Over the years of using MyListing, which is going on like 3.5 to 4 years now, I've had some of this stuff in my head for a long time, and I've just never really written it down, but I've started writing these things down. And I wanted to share them with people and also share them with clients as well. One of those reasons is because they spend a lot of time sometimes fighting these annoyances, and only to find out there's nothing they can do about it unless they hire a developer. Oftentimes they'll submit a ticket to the help desk only to again be told you need custom development for that, and things like that. I'm just trying to save people time. I also want to just bring some of these situations to light. Who knows if they ever make it back to the MyListing developers. But the deal is that if you don't speak up, you don't say something, you don't tell people that something's wrong with something, then it's not going to get fixed. Like the MyListing developers don't know everything that's going on in every single case. That said, these things that I'm going to bring to light are extremely obvious. They are some of these things I've even brought to their attention, and they've not been addressed for years. Without a roadmap, we have no idea of what's coming, things that we voice, the issues that we voice, if they're ever going to get fixed. We are completely in the dark. So if any of this stuff hits home for you and resonates and you're frustrated by it, feel free to share the video, start a help desk ticket, jump in the MyListing Club Facebook group, or even do a comment on this video with a link to your help desk ticket. And we can all put our voice towards getting this stuff fixed. Hopefully, if enough people speak up, maybe we can invoke change and get some of this stuff changed. If there's some of these things that you just think, I just don't give a crap about, that's your opinion, and that's great. And I am all for that in some cases where, just it's not really standing in the way of you making money or making your website as good as you want it to be and things like that. But these are things that have frustrated me. These are things that I know for a fact have frustrated clients. Okay. And this is we're going to start with 5 annoyances today. I'm probably going to do more videos in the future to cover some other ones. Again, to save you time from beating your head against the wall. And I'll give you some solutions if I have them in this video, which you'll see. And this is not a direct, this is not to be a direct slam against the MyListing developers. Development is hard, support is hard. I know all of that's difficult. So I'm clearly a fan of the theme, still using it after 4 years, still supporting lots and lots of users after 4 years. This is not to say that MyListing is a bad product by any means. So I don't want there to be any animosity. This is like, as my father always said, you can love somebody. That doesn't mean you have to like them all the time. So an example is, you hear kids say sometimes, I hate you. But they don't really mean it. It's just at that time, they're just unhappy with you. That overall, they love you, right? So it's kind of one of those situations. I don't love everything about Elementor. In fact, I hate a lot about it. There's things about WooCommerce that I hate. It's just the nature of software. But again, if we can all voice these frustrations, maybe something will get done. Maybe we'll get a roadmap one of these days again. And really push this theme, continue to push this theme forward. Okay. All right. So I'll stop jabbering. Let's go ahead and jump in with annoyance number 1. I've got a MyListing demo site pulled up. It's their main demo populated here that you're looking at on my screen. The very first one we're going to look at is pricing tables. So for that, let's click on the add a listing CTA in the top right here. Let's add a place listing. We see 3 packages here. Okay. If you're looking at the demo and you are not familiar with this theme, or you're like a beginner, kind of like maybe even intermediate, but you may not recognize this looking at the demo. You might just say, hey, this looks good. Like, this is great. But what you're not seeing is that the way that they presented this is purposeful. Okay. Sorry guys, but you did it this way. I know you can just tell, right? 4 lines of features, 4 lines of features, and 4 lines of features. I'm going to show you why this is intentional right here. So if we go back here into the products and we edit this basic product, let's change one of these 4 features. Let's just take out a feature, right? Take this out. Let's refresh this page. We see now that the pricing tables they're not aligned anymore. So rather than coding this correctly so that these columns auto correct and get the correct height across all of them, they have just done the demo to where it's all going to line up because they all have the same items. What if I then jump over to this premium one on the far right? Let's edit that one. What if this one just happens to have, let's add a feature to this one instead of take it away. Good stuff. Let's save this and then let's refresh our tables again. You see the problem here. And then like this is like a side thing here. This random pricing image comes in here. So if we look at that premium package, here's the pricing plan image that's in there. But what if we look at the basic? This one actually had one in there too, and I took it out. So that one is my bad. Okay, so let's put that back in there. That should appear now. But where is that image in this middle one? It doesn't appear until you actually edit this. So if I take, let's add a couple lines to this one. Actually, let's just pretend like we're changing something and see if it populates it. So here's the other image. So there we go. So that's like a side annoyance. Like, why did those just now pop up? I guess it could be caching or something along those lines, but those images were there. They should have been there to start. That's a side annoyance. But you can see how these pricing tables can get out of hand really quickly. Now I'm going to give you a really quick workaround, and then I'm going to show you the right workaround. Okay, so we know that basic is lacking 2 things. Okay, so let's just go through here and let's just create another line, put some text in there, create another line, put some text in there. We know that the pricing tables, the max is 5 items. So we're just essentially going to do what the MyListing guys did, okay? So let's put those lines in there. But obviously we don't want to show that text. So we can just do ampersand NBSP, so for non-breaking space, and a semicolon, okay? I'm going to put that on the next line as well. Okay? That HTML does not show on the front end of a website, okay? So let's do that. Let's refresh. Okay, that gets us equal height here on the first and last, but we need to address the middle one, the advanced package. We're going to do the same thing. Let's just create another line here, blah, 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 a little gibberish. Let's drop in, actually, let's do it this way. Drop in that whole line. It gets messy for some reason when you start messing back here. I don't know if it's a MyListing thing. I think it's more of a WooCommerce thing, but it can get messy when you're working in text mode. Okay, let's just put that same line in there and then update. Okay, so if you look, that's how you can get all of your pricing tables to be the same line. Actually, that's wrong. Let me go back into the basic. Oh, I see. Got my my letters mixed up. NBSP. Wow, dyslexic. NBSP. Okay, now let's try this again. There we go. So that's how you can get your pricing packages to line up. That's one way. Now the correct way is the way that I've done it here with the pricing table add-on. You can get this through the MyListing Club. But as you see here, a different number here than the number here or here and here. These tables are going to automatically, dynamically change their height based on whatever I throw in here or whatever you throw in here if you've bought this add-on, okay? That's the correct way to do it. I've proven that this can be coded into the theme. They just need to do it, okay? That's the correct way. All right, so that is the pricing tables. Let's close all this down. Let's open a listing type here. And I want to, this is one of my annoyances. I can't remember if clients have ever mentioned this, but this is a frustration of mine because I build so many sites for clients that maybe I insulate them from this problem. But okay, so you're here, you're building a listing type. You go to simple page, for example, content and tabs, you drill into the profile tab, you've added a block, you're gone into the block, and then let's say we've assigned the description field and the phone rings, or your child is having an issue, or your dog is having an issue, or something in your life is causing you to need to get away from this screen, but you want to save your changes so you don't lose them for whatever reason. So you click update here. Notice how MyListing takes you back to the root of the listing type. So to get back to where you were, you have to, one, you got to remember. Two, let's see all the clicks. 1, 2, 3. And you could say 3, you could say 4 if you wanted to go back in here and finish up this block. So it could be 4 clicks, and then you go into here. Okay. If you have issues with your house and your internet is intermittent permanently, or just maybe for a couple days, or you've got power surges in your house and you're scared to death and not constantly update your changes, you can see how this could add just a ton of work while you're trying to build all of this out. The other issue with it is you want to save your changes, right? So you can see it on the front end. So to do that, you make a change, you save it, and then you go look at it on the front end. It takes so much longer to build a listing type because of that. The constant back and forth, okay? While I'm in here, we're gonna go ahead and tackle annoyance number 3. This is one for me and clients. Clients totally hate this one. Okay, so let's say I wanna add this event date in here. A lot of them, they're like, Ryan, why can't I grab this and drag it in? Like, they try to do that. So they realize eventually that they can't. So then they're like, they click around, they click on it, and then they're like, they don't know where it went. Keep in mind, some people don't build websites for a living, let alone my listing website. So they don't know this stuff. So they clicked on that, and then they're like, oh crap, like what did I do? So then they just like refresh the page. They don't want to save their changes. They're afraid they screwed something up. So they're back where they started. So then, okay, I still can't drag. I clicked on it last time and it just disappeared. But that's the only thing that did anything. So let's just click on it again. Let's see if I can, oh, there it is. Event date is all the way down at the bottom. Okay. I need to drag this all the way to the top because this is where my event field needs to live, right? So let's drag this all the way to the top. You can't, it's stuck. Okay. So you got to drop it somewhere, scroll, drop it, scroll, and so on and so forth, depending on how many fields your listing type has, right? So that is an annoyance. I really wish that could be changed, okay? So that is one thing. Okay, moving on to our next one, and this is gonna take a little bit longer. This has to do with Elementor widgets, specifically the MyListing widgets, okay? What I've got here is just the basics, Elementor and WooCommerce. They come with the theme. The theme requires it. I don't have any Elementor Pro. I don't have any other add-ons. It's just the bare bones, okay? So let's look at a page. I created a page called Annoyances. Let's go ahead and edit that. Now, if I enter the word, the number 27, so this is the MyListing Elementor widgets. I believe there are 25. Out of the 25, maybe 5 of them are worth keeping around, and that's being generous. And the only real reason they're worth keeping around is because they are required in order to display certain elements on a page related to MyListing. That's the only reason. If they didn't do that, they should be gone, okay? So what I'm saying here is that 18 or 19 or more of these 25 MyListing widgets elements should be gone, should be stripped from the theme, gone forever. It would make the theme a little lighter. It would reduce the noise here because there's overlap in these elements and all this stuff. If these elements, these widgets, added features above and beyond what Elementor the free version of Elementor already adds, there's an argument to keep them around. But not only is that not the case, these are worse. They are far worse. They are bare bones. They need a lot of help. This one I specifically asked in the help desk to either fix them or remove them because it's causing confusion too. I've seen clients try to use these. For some reason, they see that 27 in there. They do that correlation in their head that this is from the theme. Like they need to use it for some reason, like they're compelled to use it versus, use the built-in Elementor header versus the MyListing header, for example, page heading, section heading, whatever. And then they quickly realize that the limitations of it, and then they've wasted all that time and all that work trying to make them look good. And they should have just started with the Elementor widget to start with. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these just as an example to see how bad these things are. All right, let's look at this first one, page heading. Okay, it's dynamically pulling in the page heading. That is a cool feature. You would need Elementor Pro to dynamically call in the page name. But what if we're going to overwrite this? Okay, cool. We can overwrite it. We can put a subtitle. All right. We can color the subtitle. Let's color this, the title. Let's color the subtitle. Doesn't work. Okay. So the annoyances start to kick in. What else? Where's this gray background coming from? I did not ask for that. There's no style tab here in this widget. Where is it? So I can't change that. So if I go to, this is more of an Elementor thing since one of the later updates, it's like to get that side panel back is weird. Anyway, so we got that back. So if you're more of a beginner with Elementor or whatever, MyListing, which in turn is Elementor, then how would you know to go to the advanced tab necessarily? And then you go to background. There's no background color set here. Okay, let's try to how would you know to even use this? Let's say they figure it out, they try to override this with this blue, right? Okay, that's not really the blue color that I chose. It's like darkened, right? So if I inspect this element, there we go. We see that this is, MyListing is automatically assigning, let's see, where is it? It's not that. Where is the background? It's in here somewhere. Was I staring at it? I think I'm clicking on here. Let me just go up to the main element here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So if you look here, it's assigning an overlay to this widget, which is bizarre, with an opacity of 0.4, so that's 40%, a background color of black, like a shade of black, and then another transition with opacity, but that's not even working. So there should be like some kind of a hover effect here, and that's not working either. It's just bizarre. So the only way to get rid of that is you got to know CSS. You got to know where to look. You got to go in here and untick that. It's just bizarre. It does not make any sense. So long story short on this one, I would not use that widget at all. It's just as easy to come in here, put a heading. Yeah, sure, you can't use the dynamic tag to pull in the page header. Not a huge deal. Just type it in. Type the name of the page name. It's not a huge deal. Okay. But once you do this, it unlocks all of this ability to assign HTML tags, the alignment. You actually get a style tab. You get all of this other advanced stuff. Like, there's no reason for MyListing to keep that heading widget in there. Okay. All right. Let's look at another one. Section heading. Let's do another heading. What does this one give us? Nothing. It's just a blank background. There's nothing in it. Okay. Why did the other one give us something and the other one didn't? So let's type in title. All right. That's actually black. I'm not sure where that came from. I think it's going to be like this by default. It should be. Okay. Anyway, it's probably pulling from my global colors, which is what it is. All right. Let's set the color of this one. Let's put a subtitle in. And let's color this one. Why can you color this subtitle but not the other subtitle? Okay. Why would a section heading have a body section in here? This is a body section. Okay. If you want to center it, like why is this, the title and the subtitle centered by default, but not the body element? To do that, you select all the text, if you know how to do this, and center it using the WYSIWYG editor from WordPress. Okay. It's just bizarre. I mean, why would you want to add an overlay to this? And does it even work? It doesn't even look like it works. The overlay doesn't work. Gradient. Okay, let's sign a gradient. Gradients work. Solid color doesn't work. Again, no style tab here. You can't change the spacing between the subtitle and the title and this right here, the body text. It just doesn't make any sense. Again, get rid of it. I would not use that one. Let's look at one more before we get on to the ones that are worthwhile. Okay. I mean, gosh, these are all so bad. Content block, like what the hell is that? Why is there a box shadow on this? I didn't ask for a box shadow. Icon is that. Let's do a title. Content block, body. Okay, this is body text. Okay, this looks identical to Elementor's icon box. But again, you can't style the icon color. Oh, wait, maybe you can. Let's go down here. Oh, we've got styling. This is, okay, why is the styling here but on none of the other ones? Okay, circular icon. Wow, this is amazing. You can actually do something with these. Block style, border style. Again, doesn't have it. Where does the box shadow? To do the box shadow, you got to go and so the box shadow was applied differently. Background color, does that work? Okay, that works. Okay, so again, the styling tab is missing. It's down here for some strange reason. It's not consistent with what Elementor does. It's like MyListing thinks that their way is better, but it's clearly not. It needs to be consistent. It should be a style tab there. God, that's annoying trying to get back to the widget tab. Okay, so let me show you, like icon box. It's included with Elementor, right? Icon box. Okay, let's put the icon box in its own section here. So icon box, so we can do a comparison. There we go. All right, assign that to the left, boom. Put a background in there if we wanted, but you can see right away, it's like gets you how much faster it gets you there, right? You have way more options with the content. Okay, and this is all under the style, which is where it should be. You get a lot more options in here. Okay, I think it's pretty clear that you can the differences between the widgets. Okay, again, that's a free widget. It's with Elementor. It's included with the MyListing theme. Why have both of those widgets? Okay, I could go on forever. These are all really bad widgets in here. Let's get to one that we actually need to have in most cases. So let's look at the listing feed. Okay, let me quickly back up here. Let's see, I was doing some testing before this. So let me go in here. This is going to be the final piece of the pet peeve. Let me clear all this stuff out real quick. Take a second. Okay, so this will all be back to default now. Okay, so let's add that feed back in. Feed. Okay, so there's our feed. Yeah, you've got all the typical MyListing stuff that's in here. That's not what this is about. The MyListing stuff is fine. Yeah, sure, they can add more features and stuff like that. I think there was one that I asked for a long time ago, which still hasn't made it in there. I'm blanking what that is. I think it's author, to be able to do it by order by author and filter by author. That has not made it in here. Yeah, that's what it was. Order by author and filter by author still has not made it in here, but that's a different thing. But we're talking about styling here in this particular video. What if we wanted to change the font of some of this stuff, the size, the font itself, the font style, like Google font versus system font or whatever? How would we do it? So if you're a newbie to Elementor or MyListing, especially MyListing, like you may not put two and two together that this is built using the preview cards. Okay, so where would we style this? Okay, you might come in here and you might go listing type. I heard preview cards are in listing types. Okay, let's go in here. Okay, there's a preview card. Okay, we can choose our type, our template. We can add data, but we can't style this stuff. There's nowhere to style it. So let's poke around. We're in the back end of WordPress and we're poking around. Okay, appearance. That sounds kind of like what I want. Let's go to customize. That sounds like what I want. Oh, typography. That sounds kind of what I want. Let's go in there. Ooh, preview card. Let's go in there. Okay, default template title. Do I put two and two together that this is the default template that's under listing type here? Do I put that together? If I miraculously put that two and two together, then I know, okay, if I change the font size here to, let's say 100, publish this. Let me open this page on the front end, this annoyances page. Save my changes here. Okay, there we go. So we see this is the default. Actually, no, this is the default right here. This is the default preview cards. So we see it's got that 100 size font, all right? So if I go back in here and I change this to 300, we will see that font grow even more. So we know that's the default, right? So this is the alternate preview card right here. So that would be, again, they come in here, let's say they put two and two together. Ooh, alternate template type is if my listing type has this in there. Okay, so it's going to apply to this template. Okay, same thing. Put a large font size on this. Let me actually, let's do this too. Let's go to menus. Let's add to our main menu, let's add this annoyances page. We'll put it right here at the front. There we go, right there, front and center. Let's browse to that with our customizer. So let's refresh this. Cool, so this should allow us to see this stuff in real time. Okay, so let's go back to the typography. Back to the preview cards. Let's change. We see that font size is massive. See, it's 300. So that's working. So great. We put two and two together. We figured out where all that's coming from. That's awesome. The problem is we should not be using pixels for modern web design. We should be using REM, R-E-M. If you look at Elementor here, and let's say you put a heading in here, and you look at the values under the style tab, under typography, your options are pixel, EM, REM, view width, and then custom. You want REM. We don't even have these options with MyListing under here. So the only thing that you can do is custom development, which is going to cost you money, or you have to know CSS, okay, to do this stuff on the fly yourself, or again, or hire somebody. Okay. It's really frustrating. Let's move on down. We're in the preview card. So the tagline, okay, with the alternate template, this starts to make sense now. But it starts to fall apart again. List template title. I have no idea what that means. Imagine someone that doesn't know the theme at all. Like, what the hell does that mean? There needs to be tooltips, helper. Put an icon in here where I can hover, click, get a link that talks about what the hell the stuff is, right? Quick view title. Okay, I know what that is. Click on quick view. It's the title in here. So probably this right here, this BMW 316, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Fields below the title. What the hell is that? No idea what that is. Is it these? Is it these underneath the image? Like, what are we talking about here? And this goes on and on forever. Like, it needs to be gone. It's like the widgets. It needs to be gone. It needs to be like Elementor based, or this needs to be given attention to where it makes sense. Like, give us more options to put those rim values in there, for example. Put the helper text, help people understand this. All levels need to understand this. Even if you're a website professional and you're using MyListing for the first time, this stuff is confusing as hell. I know, because people ask me all the time that build websites for a living. Stuff is confusing to them. Like, it's just massive negligence. It shouldn't be that way. Okay. Very frustrating. Okay. So there are a few widgets before I go into the typography annoyance. Further into the typography annoyance. The thing here is that there are some widgets that are good, but that's only because they're required in most cases. The listing feed, the add listing form, the map, maybe, package selection, and explore listings in the basic search form. It's like the basic search form. You don't even need that, because you can just use the shortcode widget. I think the shortcode widget is included. Yeah, that's included with Elementor. So all you need there is to go under theme tools, shortcodes. Generate your code here. Drop it into the shortcode, and you're going to get the same thing. All right. So that's not needed either. So, we're probably down to like 3 or 4 of the 25 MyListing Elementor widgets. All but 4 need to go. Probably something like that. Just get rid of them. All right. The last bit is on the typography topic of things. Is really annoys the crap out of me. And I had them fix this once before, and it's an issue again that they're supposed to fix. Let me show you this real quick. If I add a text widget to the page and I do nothing else, right? We will actually set this. I'm going to set this to 1 rim. Okay, we'll leave everything else to default. 1 rim. If this is doing what it's supposed to do, because all modern browsers use 16 pixels by default for body font size. On the front end, this should theoretically be, this text right here should be 16 pixels. Let's see what happens. Look how small that is. Okay, we see here the font size. It's inherited. It's coming from something that they are doing, right? Okay. If I inspect this with Hoverify, we see right there, font size. Can't do it. I can't show you with my thing there, but it's 14. If you look at my screen, it's 14 pixels. Okay. Now, I should be able to overwrite this if I want. I used to be able to make this fixed. That no longer works even more. So when you do that, what I like to use is, let me see if I can actually pull this up here. I'll show you what I'm working on. Let's see. Let me just get logged in here 1 second and I will show you this. That's not working. All right, let me try something else here. Thanks for bearing with me. All right, here we go. So this is the new starter site that I've been just kind of getting started on. But I've started this page to kind of document the process of how this typography works with MyListing, with Elementor, etc. Okay, so I'm building this kind of this brand style board here, and to show people. So we have the H6 is a one rem, which is going to equal 16 pixels. Body, I'm testing this. So this is an Elementor widget, heading widget set with a body tag. So that P is the body tag. And then this one down here, it's the same thing. I'm not sure why I've got duplicates on that. I think in one of them, I think I was manually setting something. I can actually get rid of one of these. But in this one, this is, no, it's not what I did here. This one should have been, I'm trying to remember what I did here. This actually should have been text, but it's down here. So if you look at this text, I haven't done anything to it, and it should, if I do it under one rem. So it's basically what I'm building here is to show you on the fly how your fonts are going to look if you adopt this methodology, which is so you see that the button is set to one rem. That's going to have it's all kind of, I'm trying to fix it all to show everybody. But if we look at this on the front end, if I inspect this stuff, this should be one rem. It's not. See that font size 14 in the middle of my screen? Okay. Same thing with this one, 14. This button should be one rem. That might actually be. But anyway, so I was working through this, and that's when I recognized that it's broken again, like that it's not working. So that's probably why I have duplicates here. I was probably in the middle of testing this, and I just stopped cold turkey when I realized this was broken again, because I actually went into with my CSS and tried to override it like I used to, which I don't want. You should not have to do. So let's see here. So yeah, right here, this isn't accurate because I was tinkering, trying to overwrite this, but typically this should overwrite it, but it doesn't. It has like no impact whatsoever. I don't know if you can see that or not because of my, let's see. Yeah, so that made an impact, but it was like the wrong impact. It should be, the font should be much bigger than that. So it's broken. I've told them they're supposed to fix it, but long story short on this, they one rem, or not even doing that, out of the box, the MyListing minimum font size for body text should be 16 pixels. That's what it is required to be for accessibility, or you'll have accessibility issues if you get audited or something like that, or even you can even get lawsuits if people are that hell-bent on suing you because you have accessibility issues. That needs to be fixed like yesterday. But anyway, I'll share this with everybody once I get it all figured out and everything's working right and all that stuff. But that's the final piece of the puzzle there. And yeah, those are 5 annoyances, maybe 5.5 annoyances. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and please remember to click subscribe and check out some of the other videos on the channel, and hope all's well. Catch you later.